going to have a general talk about some of the things I've seen, or the trend, as you know, that we've talked about, this revolution by the bribed New Zealand news media. How they're taking the policies which were well signalled, apart from the smoking, by this new government, and claiming that it's the most racist government ever and the country's going backwards, when all it is a democracy where people vote for what they want, and people should, without taking up arms or revolting, accept the result. But it would seem to me our mainstream media are not going to accept the result, that they have been insidiously colonised by activist journalists, particularly in state television and radio, and they will not accept the results of the election, and they are promoting and encouraging people to foment revolution in New Zealand. We're going to talk about some comments that have been run and stories that have been run a little later, including those from Margaret Mutu, who says we've got to fight. Well, I went to the Israeli embassy last week and I saw the results of radical extremism and fighting, and they were not pretty, folks. Not pretty at all. And indeed, it's not pretty what we're seeing happening in Gaza now. Though I guess when you are in conflict against a group of terrorists who tend to have suicide bombs and not act with any valour or honour in terms of war, I guess you would strip them all just to check they're not going to blow up, wouldn't you? But lo and behold, I come to work every morning, and despite the fact that I think much of what's published in it is absolute rubbish, I buy the Post newspaper. Why? Well, it's got a great crossword in it. I can see what the woke media is up to at a glance, and I do that on the way to work every morning. I don't know quite how I bring myself to do that anymore, because I opened the Post newspaper this morning, and prominently run on the second page is an advertisement from a group called Palestine Solidarity Network Aotearoa. Of course, it's Aotearoa. It is a group of Marxists. It's run by John Minto, who got it right once with the anti-Tua protests in heart, but has been a disloyal, traitorous Marxist to this country ever since. And he runs, I'm sure with overseas money and union backing, he runs a whole bunch of super woke, uber woke organisations that basically call for, worldwide revolution. And Palestine Solidarity Network, Aotearoa, have placed a second page ad on the Post promoting a protest. I'm not going to say where it is or when it is, because I'm not giving you free advertising, you scumbags. What I am going to say, it says this in its copy: permanent ceasefire now, end the genocide, that's right, the genocide, stop ethnic cleansing, shut the Israeli embassy, boycott Israel. And stuff the newspaper that, along with other media, would not run during the election campaign, would not run advertisements for Stop Co-Governance, would not run advertisements for Family First, and would not run advertisements for Speak Up for Women. Stuff have run this without batting an eyelid on the second page of their newspaper. I want to give you right now, well, go online, go to the Advertising Standards Authority, and this breaches so many of their guidelines it isn't funny. I want to give you now, and we'll publish this later today on all our media outlets, the complaints process. Here, I want you to have a look at this ad. We'll publish it, though we're going to blank out the details of when this rent-a-mob protest is. But I think many of you need to complain to the Advertising Standards Authority. And look, I'm going to respond, and I'm loath to do this. I'm going to respond in kind. You know where the Stuff offices are on Featherston Street? Maybe you want to express your disquiet there. And maybe you want to boycott all Stuff news outlets, particularly the Post newspaper. Why is that? Because there is no genocide going on in Gaza. There is no ethnic cleansing going on. The Israeli embassy has every right to be here. And I don't think the second largest, I think, newspaper and the largest, most read news organisation in this country should allow rubbish like this to be published as advertising. It's a slam dunk on breaching advertising standards, not just on accuracy and fairness, but also in stirring up hate against minorities and protected groups. Absolutely a breach. I'm trying to get hold of John Minto and have him on the show and ask him why he thinks he has a special right to publish lies and rubbish, anti-Semitic lies and rubbish in this country. And I'd like anyone from Stuff, though I'm not holding my breath, to explain their bentness. And I don't know if this is what the old government wanted and this is why it gave it so much money, but absolutely and utterly outrageous. I am stunned. I am upset that I live in a country that appears to... Well, no. I'm glad I live in a country that has a democracy and decided that a lot of the woke rubbish going on was wrong, and we had an election, and most New Zealanders, a majority of New Zealanders, stood up and said, stop it. Stop the silliness. Who hasn't stopped the silliness? Our news media. And the radicals who work inside that news media and the people who support them and would tear this country down. Oh, that is much, much better that I've got that off my chest.